So, hello and welcome to another episode of the Turn 5 podcast with myself and Ben. And this week we'll be going over the Formula 1, Formula 2, and Formula 3 action from the Austrian Grand Prix. And I didn't get a time on it this weekend because Crofty wasn't there this weekend. But did we have any idea how long it took them to say the hills are alive with the sound of engines or something to that effect? Basically, a Sound of Music reference.
God knows.
Because every goddamn I know I heard Ted say it. It might have been in Quali, or it might have been in Free Practice 3, because I didn't watch any of Friday's stuff. So it was at least on the Saturday that it happened. But yeah, it was one of those ones. But before we get into the real nitty gritty of Austria, there are a couple of pieces of news to cover. Formula One have updated the 2026 calendar at the request of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix promoter and government. The Grand Prix has moved from Sunday the 27th of September to Saturday the 26th to accommodate a national day. So we're going to have a Saturday race in the middle of September. Could be interesting.
Wow.
They've also announced 3 pre-season tests. Obviously, we have a change of regulations, particularly pertaining to both aero and engine. So we're getting 11 days worth of testing. The first test is a private test, and that will be held at Spain between January the 26th and January the 30th. Test 2 will be at Bahrain between February the 11th to the 13th. I'm getting ahead of myself and thinking of 11th while saying February. And test 3 is also at Bahrain and is also from February the 18th to the 20th. The season begins in Australia on March the 6th, March the 8th. We've already run through the calendar before. Nothing else has changed. So we will leave that there. You hear that?
What? I can hear some at my end because I know they're doing the road outside, but I don't know if it's coming through.
I can't hear any of that. I've just had a fucking great cruise ship sound. It's foghorn.
Oh, shit.
So, sorry, that's really thrown me off. Just
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, the F1 movie was released this week. We're going to talk about that at a later time when we've got more of us here, because I know Chris has seen it and he wants to talk about it. I know I want to talk about it, but not yet. I might go and watch it again just to like cement my opinion on it, because it's
God.
I'm going to give it a very mixed review, I feel. But I'm not going to go and watch it in IMAX again. I watched it in IMAX for the first time because I thought, see it as the director intended.
But fuck that. I'll watch it how I want to watch it.
Fair. Other news. Paul Aron will drive the Alpine. Oh wait, no, sorry. Paul Aron will drive FP1 in a Sauber, as they have made an agreement with Alpine. So that's interesting. Paul Aron's obviously looking to get the hell away from there as fast as possible.
What a shock.
And Aston Martin have...
I heard like a sprinkling of that one then. Like,
what's going on? Aston Martin have launched their own youth driver program, and I'm desperately trying to remember who they've signed.
What are they doing with Drogovic then? Just leaving him. Just wasting his time.
I guess. Aston Martin Aramco Driver Academy.
Surely they could just use like Alonso's karting academy.
They're leveraging the expertise of Fernando and DPK Racing. So it's Mary Boyer they have signed.
Let's say because Fernando's obviously got his own karting.
Isn't Mary Boyer part of Alonso's management? Is he an A14 driver? He's in F3. Hang on.
He is Spanish.
A14 Academy. A14 management. Drivers in which we believe. That's a cool way to phrase it. I like that. Gabriel Bortoletto, obviously. Chloe Chambers, Nikola Solov, Pepe Marti, Max Günther.
I don't think so. It says that he's managed. It's managed by Road to Success Motorsport.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, yeah, also Spanish.
There's quite a few in it, actually. God, this guy was born in May 2009.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. He didn't even see Jensen win the first 6 out of 7 races.
Fuck's sake. Oh my god. Of course you'd find a way to bring it back to that. But yeah, so Aston Martin have announced that they are launching their driver academy program. And Mary Boyer in Formula 3 is the first driver there. So what that means for him, God only knows. But that's a hell of a risk to be the first driver to sign up for an academy program. A team that only ever has one seat.
Yeah. He's not doing badly though.
No. Oh, they also
P6 in the F3 Championship.
The other piece of news that I like is Vettel is in contact with Helmut Marko over succeeding him. Can we hurry that one along, please? That would be such a massive pendulum swing in terms of in terms of like the opinion of the Red Bull youth advisor.
Yeah, that switch up's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
And unless it's like when when Anakin went to the Sith, it's like no.
Honestly, I think that's probably the best thing for the kids as well. Imagine, because Helmut Marko is like of an older generation that believes in a firm hand is the best hand. Whereas Seb is very pro mental health and will 100% be more supportive than Helmut Marko could ever imagine how to be.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Make it happen.
Or they have to get Seb in. Imagine the first thing he does is get rid of Horner.
I don't think he'd have that power, to be honest with you.
That'd be so funny.
That would, but unfortunately, I don't think he's quite got that.
No,
that power.
He said have the driving academy, won't he?
Yeah, he's got the. Gene Haas is going to drive one of his cars at Goodwood.
At the Silverstone Grand Prix.
As they continue their 10th anniversary celebrations. Gene is driving the VF23 on the Friday.
Is that the one that got pole?
I don't know, what year did Kev get pole? The 2023 split car, this one.
Did he get it in 22 or 23? 3.
I think it's. Or was it last year and we're just dumb?
It wasn't last year.
It must have been 20, surely.
He's achieved 1 pole position. Yeah, say where, you stupid twat.
Brazil.
Yeah, we know it's Brazil, but like... 2022.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Neither of these then. Because team principal Ayo Komatsu is making an appearance in the VF24.
Can we get Zach Brown to go up in a McLaren to race Gene Haas? Racing Gene Haas at Goodwood.
Kazuki Nakajima, vice chairman of Toyota Gazoo Racing Europe, will kick off the 4-day event by driving the VF23 on Thursday, alongside Komatsu in the VF24, before Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon take over driving duties for the weekend, alongside the hill climb. In the ballroom paddock, there's the VF16, which is the team's first car, as well as the VF25 from this year's Grand Prix. Wow, okay, so they're putting their latest car on display at Goodwood. That's kind of cool. There you go. Yeah, so Haas are going to be at Goodwood. Cool. I think that's it for the news that isn't related to the actual Grand Prix. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
F1. Alex Dunn sat in for Lando Norris in FP1. Finished 4th.
Done all right.
Just a bit, yeah. Just a
Put
bit.
his name in the window.
Who else? Is there another one? Or was it just Alex Dunn?
Yeah, it was he drove Ferrari. Dino Beganovic.
Dino, yes, that's it. Dino did not have quite such a stellar performance. It was 80. He was, however, only about 0.3 slower than Lewis.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No. However, Alex Dunn was like less than 1/10 behind Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, but yeah,
phenomenal. So yeah, no, I think he's done himself a world of good with that. Just jump in the car and annihilate.
So you're gonna drive Oscar's side as well?
He's
got. Or will they have to get like? Yeah.
He's got to, surely. After a performance like that, that's got to be rewarded with have the other session as well.
Yeah.
Because they got to do, what is it, 4 FP1s, 2 for each side, or is it 2 FP1s?
I thought it was just 2, 1 each side.
They have to do so many, and it's with either car. So obviously Lando's got one of his out of the way, so Oscar's got to do one at some stage. But then for practice 2, we had Lando Norris back in the car, and Lando Norris immediately went top. And then for practice 3, Lando Norris went top. And then for qualifying, Lando Norris went top. Now, well, there's caveats here, isn't there? Pierre Gasly's spin at the final corner causing double waved yellows, slowing some people down, meaning that Max Verstappen didn't get his lap in, Oscar Piastri didn't get his lap in, others, but I don't know. I don't know if Oscar would have closed that gap because Lando was the only guy that went into the 103.
He definitely would have been second.
Yeah.
I think you guarantee that.
Yeah. Didn't really make much difference after the first corner, though, did it? So.
No.
No, but it was good to see. Lando's always like this. Lando's always been good at this track. He got his first podium here, obviously. it's always been a bit of a happy hunting ground for him, except for last year where he got Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this is just what he needs. That bit of a
Now he
confidence
needs to
boost.
back it up.
Now he needs to do
We've
it
been
all over
here.
again in Silverstone.
Yeah, we've been here before.
Have you seen Lando's new monster anywhere? Because apparently it's in Tesco.
No.
I can't find it. I've been to
No.
Tesco. I've been to Morrison's. I think I'm going to hit up Sainsbury's tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not exactly searching for it.
Oh, well,
so
I'm having a look.
Just go and CX. They'll have it at CX.
Really?
Yeah, Goth Juice.
Goth Juice.
They sell their drink.
You know, I mean, I've got a bit of a collection.
They should actually put like a monster fridge in CX and just see that just fucking blitz off the shelf. That could be their whole business.
I'll tell you what, I found, they get different flavors over in America.
Yeah.
I found a corner shop here that sells them. Blood did not put the prices on the shelf. I thought, I'll have that one and that one. £6 a can.
Fuck it now. Jesus.
I won't be getting them again. They're still in the fridge.
Yeah.
I haven't touched them yet.
Yeah, it's like champagne, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a good bottle of whiskey. You got to keep it, let it age.
Speaking of whiskey, I've picked up the McLaren Jack Daniels 2025 edition to go nicely with the McLaren Jack Daniels 2024 edition that I still have not opened. That is the epitome of please drink responsibly. Unopened after a whole year.
You can get away with that though, because it's whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets better with time.
I think that's supposed to still be in the barrel though, mate.
Yeah, but
I think the aging process stops once they chuck it in a bit of glass. But yeah, there is also apparently win an epic trip to Austin competition going on. So
wow.
Might have cheeky butchers at that, and then pull a sickie at work in late October. If anyone asks who I am, you know nothing.
You're not in the country, so
yeah, exactly. They get like Esther sorted. Ugh. Say that like I'm gonna win. I'm not gonna win.
Yeah.
It's the lottery, innit? I'm never gonna win.
Yeah.
Right, anyway. Lando Norris domination from when he first entered the car in FP2 onwards, basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah, well, apart from maybe the first stint.
He did have Oscar all over him.
Yeah.
But he did hold him off.
But then
Oscar did get ahead, but then he overtook him.
He was smart. He played that smart.
Much better racecraft than Canada. Let's put it that way.
Although that's not exactly difficult.
No, exactly. What didn't you do? I didn't drive up the arse of him. Nice. Excellent work. It was a great battle. It was very tense. I only watched I didn't watch it live. I only watched it back. The only information I knew going into it was that Lando won. It was
a really, really good battle.
Yeah, to see that, I'm like, oh god, no, please. But yeah. Lap 1, we should probably talk about turn 3.
Kimmy. Kimmy's terrorism.
Yeah, he's been taking lessons from George, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
To be fair, it looked more like he took avoiding action on the cars directly in front of him, and then locked his brakes, and then ended up in the side of Max Verstappen.
Locked the reds and then fine.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
A pretty silly mistake to make.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones, and it's full racing
because he's a rookie.
Yeah,
you let him off. If he does it again, you're like, right, okay, this is an issue.
Yeah, it's the first time he's really done it on it, so
yeah,
we'll allow it. This is when
It
somebody in the
also
comments pulls out
it doesn't help when
receipts.
you smash into the person who's rumored to take your seat as well.
Is it his seat or is it George's seat? Because
I
George ain't
think
got a
it's
contract.
they can't get rid of George though, surely.
Driver swap? George to Red Bull? That would be seen. You can't put George and Max on the same team.
I think you can.
I don't. I think George is going to get absolutely chefed by Jos Verstappen.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love
Tell me I'm wrong. George is getting absolutely wetted.
I think they might run it for like one season and then George will be like, yeah, I'm not fucking on this.
Do a Danny Rick.
Although, would Max join Mercedes with George just
With
being
George
there
there.
anyway? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I'm Max Verstappen, I'm not joining Mercedes if George is there.
But does part of you want to join Mercedes just to fuck him up even more?
Here comes Rosberg.
Yeah, just to be like,
Hits
yeah.
up, walks down the street to Rosberg's apartment. Like, I want your advice.
Yeah.
How do I take him out? give me 2016 tips. Oh my god, it'll be 10 years afterwards.
Jesus.
Crazy scenes.
But yeah, I feel like Max could just stay at Red Bull.
Yeah. At least for next year with the regulation change. See how it pans out and then make you move. I think that's going to be a lot of it. I think there's going to be there's going to be relative stability in the market this year. And I think next year it's going to pop off.
Yeah, I think Merc would also be stupid to get rid of George.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he could, with equal cars and everyone in them, I feel like he'd be the one to give Max a challenge. Just with how consistent he is.
I think he'd give him a challenge of good luck. I'm
Until
turning now.
yeah,
He just
you take
turned in on
Singapore out of the
me.
equation, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
It'd get to the last lap lead in the championship, and then fuck it.
And George Russell. Oh no, Max Verstappen wins.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, so Kimmy has buffed up. Actually, that's the point. I need to see what Kimmy's penalty is for that.
He got a 3-place grid penalty.
Just
I
the
think.
3.
I think so.
Blimey. It's just a 3. That's very generous from the stewards. Car 12. Tell me what you got. Yeah, 3. Damn.
So what does that equate to? Like a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, that is a 5-second.
That's
right. It's also Kimmy's first penalty points. So, he's now on 2 for the 12-month period. The driver of car 12 locked up the rear brakes into turn 3 and collided with car 1. In the hearing, the driver admitted that he made a mistake as he locked up the rear wheels while using his regular braking point, but also pointed out that he needed to avoid a collision with car 30 in front of him and released the brakes for a short period of time to do so. Taking evasive action led to the car having less grip on the dirty inside line, and therefore he was not able to decelerate the car in a way to avoid the collision with car 1. Damn. The stewards determined that although the incident happened in lap 1, no other cars influenced the incident of the driver, and the driver of car 12 is fully at fault. Therefore, the more lenient approach to judging lap 1 incidents has not been applied in this case. However, they also acknowledge that the incident was not a blatant attempt to dive into the corner, but rather the result of evasive action after locking up. There. Okay, so they didn't do the lap. It's lap 1, but they did do the hey, you tried your best.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So Oh yeah, I suppose also this week the FIA finally published their driving standards documents, so we now actually know what the hell they mean when they say it's his corner and how they apply the penalty. So I'm sure Chris,
He's got his wing mirror first.
yeah, Chris will do a deep dive on that. I'm sure. I will not. I gave it a brief glance and on Instagram post where where they showed off some like examples and they were the worst animations I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got a penalty for that. Who else got penalties? Sonoda spun out
Yeah.
Colapinto.
He also
Seen that one before, haven't we?
decided to just punch Stroll off the track as well. That was fun.
Why not? That document got recalled.
I don't know why.
Document 39, decision, car 22, alleged causing a collision with car 18. He got a 5-second penalty for that, didn't he?
He should have, because you can't say that he made the corner where he took Stroll off the track.
Well, he stayed in the circuit.
Yeah, but that's only because Stroll was there.
Yeah. Interesting. Why has that one been recalled?
Unless Yuki gave the position back to Stroll.
Potentially.
That'd be the only thing,
we'll have
and
to,
we didn't see it.
VAR that one, won't we?
I'm guessing he gave it back.
Decision. Car 43. Forcing car 81 off track.
That was the funniest penalty on earth.
Funniest radio message.
Yeah, also that as well. Getting a penalty for forcing the leader off the track when you're a lap down.
You got, what, 5 seconds for that? Was it 10 seconds? I'll have a look.
5, I think.
5-second time penalty, 1 penalty point.
Imagine if that was like an RB and it was Verstappen and Piastri going for the title. The murder that would cause.
Oh, okay, so the decision of causing a collision has been changed to a decision for alleged forcing car 18 off track. No further action.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he gave it back then.
Car 22 overtook 18 on the inside. Car 22 had its front axle ahead prior to and at the apex. Full control of the car at the apex and completed the overtake using a reasonable racing line. So they said it's Lance's fault. Yeah. They changed their mind. Or that was another incident. I'm not sure. But we'll see. Or Red Bull submitted an appeal and won.
Yeah.
And went, do you want to have another
I
look
mean,
at
it
that?
doesn't. Ultimately, it's the battle for about 14th, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't change fuck all, does it? Where did they finish in the end? The result. Stroll still beat him.
Nice.
Sonoda is the only driver to finish 2 laps down. Would also love to point out at this point Ted Kravitz's absolute savagery over team radio, over commentary, sorry. This is what happens when you lose Max Verstappen on lap 1.
Yeah.
You've got a second driver that's just languishing at the back. Love that. He's not wrong.
You can't disagree with him if Yuki is 16th and 2 laps down.
Yeah. But equally, just look at the point share of Red Bull and Verstappen. Like, How many of Red Bull's points
Oh,
are
do you see?
Verstappen's?
I think it's in like the last 3 rounds or something. Kick Sauber about scored Red Bull.
Oh my god. Yeah, they got 6 points this weekend. Gabby got his first points. And he
Yeah,
got 4 of them. And he almost had 6 if he could have just not had um, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri trying to fight their way through while they're trying to fight for the position.
um,
So, because he definitely had the faster car at that point. So I think Alonso got really lucky. The blue flags.
yeah. It also wasn't the best time for Oscar.
No, no, but Oscar was running out of time anyway. To be honest.
Yeah, but then it also, yeah, in the last 3 Grand Prix, Kick Sauber have scored 20 points. Red Bull have scored 19.
Amazing. That's actually brilliant. Big up Kick Salva. It was a really good weekend for them actually, and they had good pit stops too. So
Yeah,
McLaren did not
and
have a
for
good
Liam,
first round of pit stops.
well, it wasn't bad.
Wasn't great.
It was like 5-6 tenths off. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's like the
their
average.
quickest one was what 3.
Yeah, it's like 3.1 and 3.4 or something.
Yeah, and then the second round was 2.5 for Lando and 2 seconds
Two
flat for
for
Oscar.
Oscar. Yeah.
Favoritism, giving him a half-second advance.
Yeah. They thought they
Quite a
knew that
lot, isn't
Orlando.
it?
They were
So,
there for half a second. They knew what they were doing.
100%. Team's trying to screw over. No, yeah, it's good for Liam as well. He's continuing his point
So
scoring.
that's one thing that the fact that Alonso was in the vote for driver of the day and Liam wasn't, even though Liam done what Alonso done, but better.
Yep, good band, good band.
Yeah.
Didn't Lando win it in the end?
I thought it was Gabby.
Oh, might have been. I don't know. I thought I heard something on the team radio at the end, but I was honestly so tired while watching that I could be hallucinating. So
Yeah, it's Bortoletto.
excellent, well deserved. First point. Ferrari were kind of nowhere.
Yeah, but right, I seen someone
Not in
put
a bad way.
Ferrari. Someone said I seen that saying Ferrari were best of the rest. Third place, third and fourth is not best of the fucking rest, all right?
It
I
depends on
get
what
what they
year it
mean.
is.
They're in the middle of fucking nowhere. But
2014,
when
2014, third was a win because Mercedes were off on their own.
in 2020, when
2022,
Lewis was winning everything, Max Verstappen was not best of the rest.
yeah, but when one team is clearly like dominant, like 2014 when it was the Mercedes, or a couple years back when it was the Red Bull, and they were like clearly the best car, third was basically a win.
They're only 20, 30 seconds off McLaren. It's not even.
Only.
Lando couldn't do another pit stop.
Charles was 20 seconds off. That's almost a pit stop. And Lewis was 30 seconds off. Is almost half a lap.
It's not best of the rest. I'm not having it.
George was pretty much a lap down, and Liam just snuck over the line.
Liam was best of the rest, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because McLaren, Ferrari, American Red Bull, well, Verstappen are all above the class below. So you can't start calling a Ferrari a mid-pack car.
They operate like a mid-pack team.
This is when they come 10th and 11th at Silverstone again. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say, they seem to flip-flop on their performance a bit, so maybe hold off on that that assessment just yet.
Speaking about mid-pack cars, Williams, what a
Whoa.
fucking rotter.
I think that's Alex's third DNF in a row.
Maybe I'll have a look.
I
I know
think.
that Carlos broke down on the formation lap.
Yeah, that was a bit of a palaver, wasn't it? And it took him so long to come
Canada.
to the decision to abort the start. Lando was basically on the pit straight, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck it, start again."
Yeah, fine.
And then Carlos got going. He was like,
That's
"Cool,
3 in a row.
I fucked the
Yes.
start. Let's go."
It is 3 DNFs in a row for Alex Albon.
That's not great, is it?
No.
Not great for the team either. They were doing okay for points. So
They're still alright. They've still got, like, I think it's 20-point gap or something.
yeah,
A
19.
19-point gap. So they should be alright.
Yeah, they're definitely not catching fourth at that rate, though.
Well, unless Verstappen retires halfway through. Then they've got a chance.
Unless Verstappen subs into the RB.
Yeah, then they don't have a chance.
Well, because then Red Bull will stop scoring points altogether. So Williams just
So
have to get
RB
another 107
11
points to draw level with
in
Red Bull.
how many rounds?
I think this was round 9.
This
10.
is round.
Oh, that was
This is
round
round
11.
11.
We're on round 12.
13 more.
This will be the last round of the first half.
So 107.
13 races.
So they need an average of 8 points per weekend.
That's doable. I
So
feel like that's doable.
so
You just
they got
need...
top 5 each weekend. Oh, that actually no, because 2 drivers. So like a 6th and 7th.
Just a 6th place is enough. That's 8 points.
Oh,
You get a 7th and an 8th, that's 10. So
yeah, that's doable.
they can definitely do that.
So
Hell,
Red Bull should
8th and 9th is 6 points. So, you know, that's pretty close. And then if they get a 7th every now and again, they're in.
So Red Bull should either demote Verstappen for fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, not necessarily for
Or
fun, but because the performance is clearly in the second car.
yeah, but then who gets demoted to the Red Bull?
Hajar.
What a sentence that is.
It's his time. It's his turn. The revolving door continues. Could you imagine the scenes if they actually sent Verstappen to RB, though? Just admitted that Red Bull was shit.
That'd be funny. That'd be class.
It would be funny for everyone else. It'd be a major slap in the face for Red Bull.
I don't think Verstappen would really care.
I think he just gets in the car and drives.
Yeah.
But yeah. We'll see. What else happened in the race? Interesting driver coaching by McLaren race engineers.
But no, it's just getting put out on TV now.
Yeah, I know.
They do that anyway.
It's funny to me because it's inter-team rivalry. You know, it's Lando hit the apex of 6. It'll make it harder for Oscar.
Give Oscar 30.
Yeah. Fuck him up.
But then in my brain, it's like Oscar would just take the wide line then.
Yeah. do whatever he doesn't.
Yeah.
Box opposite, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's just interesting to hear it now, you know. But
Yeah, it's just like whoever took the first round of pit stops, the other driver would just carry on for like 4 laps or something, wouldn't they?
I mean, we saw that Lando got called in. Oscar had free air, but just real pace gain.
Yeah.
So,
Oscar did near the order almost just murder Lando. That
yeah,
is quite funny.
yeah. I suppose you say no real pace gain. It's probably because he lost all the DRS.
Yeah, then it also depends how much tyres he saved to the end of the stint.
Yeah, probably not a lot, given by how hard they were
Not a
racing.
lot, no. Yeah.
Which Lando made the comment of over the radio. You want me to extend, but I'm defending here.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you can't have your cake and eat it. But they did. We got a 1-2. So
Life's good.
that was as good as you can hope for. Definite good response by Lando from Canada. About as good as you could hope of a bounce back.
Yeah, but now he has to back it up. We've been through it.
Yeah, he's just got to
Do the
stay
hard
on it
work.
now.
Back it up.
He can have these odd good results. He's got to be consistent. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, let's run through the results of our predictions, and then we can get into predictions for Great Britain, because that is this weekend, and then we will briefly cover the Formula 2 and the Formula 3 action. Right, podium predictions. Mel came last this week with a single point for putting Norris on the podium in the wrong. Ben, you and Chris both scored 2 points for putting both McLaren drivers in the wrong places. I scored 4 points for saying that Norris would win and putting Piastri in the wrong place on the podium. And Sonia got 5 points for the same, but also predicting that Norris would get pole position. Bold predictions. Nobody got theirs this week. Ben, you said Stroll track limits penalty. Chris said no. Actually, no. Chris got his one, didn't he? Yes, he did. Chris said no track limits penalties in the race. So Chris got his. Mel said Ben finished P5. He did not. And I said that there would be contact between Verstappen and Piastri. There wasn't. I haven't had a chance to look at Lap Down Showdown yet. I've been asleep. Do me. The championship for the podiums. Mel is on 20. Chris is on 28. I am on 32. Sonia is on 37 and has closed the gap to a single point. Ben, you're on 38.
Lando needs to stop winning.
I thought you just said he needs to back it up. Make your mind up.
Yeah, he does. I'd rather these in the championship.
Fair. Valid. Who do I want? You know what? Predictions for this week. Pole position. Who are you going for?
Piastri. Be smart. Be smart.
Chris has said Norris. Mel has said Norris. I have said Norris. Sonia has said Norris.
Who's the jinx?
Lewis Hamilton. Imagine it. Pulled out.
I was tempted, but I was like,
Podium.
Piastri, Norris, Hamilton.
I am going to go for. Do you want the bad news now, actually?
What's the bad news?
The bad news is that it's the exact same podium as Chris.
Oh, fuck. Oh no, that's brilliant. Actually, that's good. That is good. Yeah,
Why is that good? Come on.
because that's not going to happen now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so Chris has gone for the same as you. Mel has gone for Norris Piastri Verstappen. Sonia has gone for Norris Piastri Hamilton. And I have gone for Norris Piastri Russell. Bit of British going on there. Bold prediction, what you got?
quad Britannia points. So Behrman, Lando, George, and Lewis are all going to be in the points.
Cool.
So Ollie Behrman's getting
Behrman
taken out
finish
on the
11th.
first lap.
Yeah. Chris
Watch them
has...
all DNF on the first lap.
They're the only cars that DNF in the whole race. Just the
And they all
Mercedes.
collide with each other.
Chris has said at least 2 safety cars. Mel has said Lewis has a Menti B. And
That's not a bold prediction.
I'm going to say no DNFs.
Wow. Unexpected DNF.
It's not that bad.
Bring it back.
No DNFs is harder to do than unexpected DNF. How many races in the last few have we had that have had no DNFs? I can tell you it's at least the last 3 we've had at least one because Alex Albon has been responsible for all of them. So, I mean, shall I just go bold and say Alex Albon 4th DNF in a row then?
Alex with a quad.
Fine, I'm doing that. Alex
No,
quad
that should be
DNF.
Mouse. That should be
Right,
Mouse. Yours should be no DNF. Mouse can be no DNF.
Right. Lap down showdown. 52 laps of this track. What are we going for?
I've just said Ocon won that 41. I've said it before somewhere. I'll just stick with it.
Chris has gone for Pinto on lap 28 and 1 lap down. Mel has gone for Ocon on lap 37 and 1 lap down. And I'm going for Yuki Tsunoda on lap 28, 1 lap down. That is it for our predictions. Now we have Formula 2. Leonardo Fornaroli took pole by 14 thousandths of a second ahead of Victor Martin.
Did you get a point for that?
I think you get 2.
Oh, nice. Clever man.
You definitely get something.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many points it is. I know you get points for pole in F3 as well. So, Victor Martin's second, 14 thousandths of a second behind. Richard Verschoor third, 24 thousandths of a second behind. And then 10th, and therefore reverse grid pole, was John Bennett, who was just under 3/10 down. The idea of how tight the field is, 21 of the 22 drivers were within 9/10 second.
Like F1.
Yeah. And within half a second was the top 14. Pretty close. Anyway, sprint race. Pepe Marti won that ahead of Joshua Dirksen and Roman Stanek. I'm trying to think who's the leaders. Richard Verschoor, 4th place, so he had an okay run out. Alex Dunn was 6th, so he scored some points as well. Jack Crawford did not finish. So not great for his championship bid there. And Leonardo Fornaroli also did not score points in the sprint. Feature race. Leonardo Fornaroli once again continues his hot streak of never winning. He finished second. Pole position to second. What a boy. Richard Verschoor won the race with Jack Crawford in third. So that leaves the drivers' standings in the Formula 2 with Richard Verschoor with a reasonably healthy lead of 24 points. He is on 114 ahead of Alex Dunn on 90. Jack Crawford is in third on 88. And not far behind him is Leonardo Fornaroli in fourth on 86 points. They will be back this weekend. That's the Silverstone Grand Prix. Formula 3. Qualifying. Nikola Tsolov put it on pole ahead of Brad Benavides and Noah Stromstead. A bit more of a gap in this one. 0.176 between pole and second. But then between second and third was 0.02 of a second. So that was a bit more Austria-like in its gap. And within a second was 26 of the 30 drivers. So yeah, pretty damn close. Actually, within half a second. Okay, Roman Belinsky was 0.501 of a second off the lead, and he was 18th. So yeah, a lot of drivers within a very short space. Also, find it hilarious that this is like the second shortest track on the calendar behind Monaco, but we don't do grouped qualifying here. Only Monaco. I feel like this track would benefit from grouped qualifying.
Although I feel like it's wide enough to get away without doing it.
So, yeah. I mean, 30 drivers on, was it, like, 4-kilometre track?
Yeah. Surely nothing can be as bad as Monza, though.
Monza, Monaco. Yeah, Monza's probably the worst because of just everyone wants to slipstream.
But then surely they'd want it at Austria as well, though.
Between turns 1 and 4, yeah. But after that, not really. The lap of two halves, isn't it? Once you come out of turn 10, you're like, yeah, slipstream, let's go. And then you hit turn 4's apex and you're like, I don't want this anymore. Get out of the way. So, yeah. Sprint race, right. So there were post-race penalties that affected this. So James Wharton took the win ahead of Giusti in second, and third on the podium as it was Ugo Ugochukwu. He got given a 10-second post-race penalty, which demoted him to 16th, which is very, very reminiscent of that Nepenthes clip, isn't it? Easy top 3. 16th!
That's perfect.
Yeah, which promoted Nikola Tsolov into the podium places. The feature race also had a post-race penalty. Ugo's penalty was for leaving the track and gaining a lasting advantage. That's why he got his 10 seconds.
Where did he track extend?
Turn 1.
Right, okay, yeah, I'm with you. Did he just not bother showing hit in the apex whatsoever?
I haven't seen the incident, but I guess he just kept too much of a gap or something. But yeah. Anyway, Nikola Tsolov crossed the line first in the feature race ahead of Martina Stenshorn, Tim Tramnitz, and Mary Boyer. Tsolov was then disqualified for, I think it was skid block wear. So yeah, I think it was 0.3. It was either 0.3 or 3 mil. Probably 0.3 mil. Too skinny on his undercarriage, so he got disqualified.
Yeah, I did see it. So someone got it in F2 as well, didn't they? I
I haven't seen
seen
that yet, to be honest. I
um
literally have only
I
looked
think
at the headlines.
just before the race on Sunday, I seen someone put up with like driver gets disqualified for skid plank. F3, F2 driver gets disqualified for skid plank. Ferrari currently.
Here they come. Yeah, so that promoted Martinez Stenshorn to the win, Tim Tramnitz to second, and Mari Boyer into third. With Ugo Chukwu getting a bit of a bounce back and finishing fourth. And that was actually really beneficial to championship leader Rafa Kamara, who finished fifth, because Nikola Solov is the second place driver in the championship at that point in time.
Jeez.
But with that disqualification, Solov now drops down to third in the championship standings. Rafa Kamara leads 117 points. Tim Tramnitz is in second on 93, and Solov is on third with 89. I think Stenshorn is now looking a bit too far away. Stromstead, they're on 67 and 62, respectively. I think that's a little bit far adrift with the fact that we've only got 4 rounds left.
So that's Silverstone and then Monza.
Silverstone, Belgium, Hungary, Monza.
Oh right, yeah, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I was thinking 4 races.
Oh, yeah, no. 8 races, 4 rounds. Yes, so obviously they'll be back as well this weekend with Formula 1 at Silverstone, along with British F4.
F4.
So we've got
Although
F1 through 4.
it's not a scoring round for F4.
No, it's an exhibition round, isn't it? Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, but it's F4, so they're gonna go fucking mental.
Yeah.
As much as the owners or whatever might say, just don't crash, mate.
Yeah.
They won't care.
It's a Formula 1 weekend.
Yeah.
This will be the biggest crowd they've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it'll be really good for them, though. Be a good place
It'd be good
to
fun.
get your name out. So.
Yeah.
We will be back next week where we will be discussing all of that action and hopefully also our opinions of the F1 movie, unless we put it off again for another week. Who knows?
Maybe.
Until then,
We should actually do a thing of how to make it better over the summer break. We'll do that with Monaco.
with Monaco
How
and
to
the
improve
F1
Monaco.
movie.
How to improve the F1 movie.
Fair. I like that. Okay. We'll put that one in the calendar.
Yeah.
Until then, thank you for listening and or watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.